Everybody, what's up? Man, that was a fun vlog last time. Whenever we went to Roswell, we walked. I definitely got my exercise in. We're gonna have to go back. I didn't go to all of the places. I gotta save some for future vlogs, right? Say I can't do everything in one location at once. I want to take you guys back. I wanna get my experiences worth, right? Anyway, um, today I am going with my Paranormal Georgia colleagues, and we are going to the Gilmer County Library, and we're going to give a lecture panel on cryptids and cryptozoology. So I'm going to take you guys along with me for that. And if we get there early enough, we might walk around Gilmer County, see what's going on in LJ, Georgia. I don't know if it's going to be a lot, so we'll see when we get there. But you guys are coming along, so let's go. Before we head off to our talk, though, I've got to get rid of all of this stuff. We cleaned out our guest room, and there's just stuff I need to bring to Goodwill. So a lot of Hello Kitty stuff. Chelsea Gasly is a big Hello Kitty fan, and like here's a Hello Kitty television that she used to have before we started dating and moved in together. But yeah, trip to Goodwill seems to be in order. I was cleaning out my car and I found this Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party wristband. You know what? This is actually going to stay in my car. I'm going to keep it for good luck.
The Memorial Silver Bridge still stands today, but it was a horrible accident, and after it happened, no more Mothman sightings. What's interesting is that Mothman has been sighted around the world. It's not just in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Up here you have a picture of abandoned gas masks in, I believe it was a hospital in Chernobyl. He was sighted throughout 1985 by scientists and other workers at the nuclear plant in Chernobyl in Pripyat, Ukraine.
It's starting. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it must be springtime in North Georgia because my car is starting to get covered in pollen. Also, it'll be interesting to see this nice yellow haze over the hood of my car. It'll be interesting to see how green my car turns because of all the pollen. How's it going, guys? I haven't done much this week. I just haven't really had anything to do, so I haven't really left the house, which is kind of boring. But I don't know if you guys have heard in the news lately. Also, forgive my voice. I have a little bit of a sore throat, a little bit of a sinus thing going on. So I'm a little hoarse right now. So, we love you, little Sebastian. But if you have been paying attention to the news, you probably have heard that the great American toy store chain, Toys R Us, is officially closing its doors. They're going under. They filed for Chapter 11, something of the sort. So all Toys R Us retail stores are essentially closing down. And funny story, growing up I never had a Toys R Us. In my hometown in Louisiana, it was a very small town. The closest Toys R Us was an hour and a half away, or an hour away in New Orleans. But my family never went to the city too often, so we never really got a chance to go to New Orleans, so which means I never got a chance to really go to Toys R Us. But in my hometown, we had a mall, which had a Playland Toys and a KB Toys. And eventually, I think KB Toys bought out Playland, and they kind of merged. So there was only one toy store in the mall, which was KB. KB has long since gone the way of Old Yeller. But and Toys R Us is following soon. So, but anyway, it's unfortunate that Toys R Us is going away. I actually don't think I stepped foot into a Toys R Us until I was maybe 12, 13 years old. Anyway, when I moved up to Georgia, there was a Toys R Us like 10 minutes away from where I lived. So, of course, like my mind was blown. I'm like, oh, Toys R Us, we got to go there all the time. So, I was a big fan. Anyway, I think we're going to go over to Toys R Us, and I'm not looking to buy anything, but I kind of just want to film around. I can just document it for posterity. So let's go to Toys R Us, and who knows, maybe we might buy something. I highly doubt that there's going to be anything worth getting because everybody will probably have looted all this good stuff already for this whatever liquidation sale that they're having. I don't know. Are they having a liquidation sale? I guess we'll find out. So let's go. So right behind me stands the last American toy store, or the last great American toy store, Toys R Us. Again, they are closing down. It was started by a man named Charles Lazarus, which is kind of odd given his name. Who knows? Maybe Toys R Us will be resurrected at some point in time. Wouldn't count on it. However, it was started in Washington, D.C. in 1948. It wasn't really incorporated until about the 60s with a different parent company, but in the 60s is when it became Toys R Us, the toy store we all know and love. So let's go in and take one final look at what will be Toys R Us's. I'm leaving that one in. Their final days. Let's go. I feel like I would buy all of the like old X-Men figures if they repackaged all the X-Men figures like they did with this one. Not too much in the vein of Star Wars stuff. I like the Giant Porg though. They still have a ton of these Vaders from the 40th anniversary, and there's a Luke from the 40th anniversary. You don't see those around very often these days. I feel like this is a very awkward Slimer.
Should have come with the colander instead.
I don't know if it's just the rush or the fact that the people who work here know that they're going to essentially be jobless in a few weeks, but I feel like the level of care has gone downhill. But that's also kind of been Toys R Us's issue, is it's always kind of looked like this, so I really don't know if it's like a new thing or not. It's probably not. Also, if you decide to come to a Toys R Us, nothing is discounted. A lot of the toy companies are going to reclaim their stock, so if you come to a Toys R Us and you're expecting like liquidation deals, you'll probably find some on some of the cheaper stuff, but like Hasbro, Nintendo, and some of the other toy companies or video game companies are they're taking all Lego's another one. They're gonna take all of their stuff back. Do you guys remember when certain amiibos were really hard to find? Anybody need a Ryu amiibo? Can be yours for the low price of $15.99. Remember me? No. I'm gonna start to cry. A friend of mine found this Yeti, and it's not hinged or anything, but we're giving it a once over. And who decided to design this? Who looked over the blueprints or the specs for that and goes, yeah, that's good. Playmobil Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I like how they just didn't even change the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Johnny 5? That was probably my last trip inside of a Toys R Us. This one for sure. It's a little bit disappointing of the state of the store and what happened to it, and ultimately its demise and it going under. Let's go cheer ourselves up. Let's go somewhere fun. And hard cut. And if you could tell by the raspy sound of my voice, maybe going out yesterday was not a good idea. I woke up sounding like this, and I just feel terrible. So this is, if you're keeping score at home, the third time this year that I have fallen ill. 2 times in January, good for February, once in March. But last trip to Toys R Us, I have fond memories of going to Toys R Us whenever I was 12. You guys remember earlier in the video, didn't have a Toys R Us in my hometown. Didn't go to my first Toys R Us till I was 12. Uh, but I remember just walking into a Toys R Us and just seeing stuff I didn't know existed, like just toys and cool things that I didn't even know I wanted. And the shelves were always stocked. There was always something. I could always find whatever I wanted at a Toys R Us. But lately, like the last 10 or 15 years, Toys R Us has had this downward slope, and which was kind of upsetting because it was a place of wonder whenever I was a child. And granted, I'm 35-year-old Jordan now walking in toy stores. Like, man, I've seen it all. Like, I know, like, I want to be jaded or cynical about it, but I have such fond memories of Toys R Us, and it is kind of the end of an era. So I'm really sad that it's going away, but also, as we saw in the video, it's not really a big surprise that it's kind of going away. I am sad that it's kind of the last great American toy store. There's really nothing to compete with online retailers these days. But I think, and I have this hypothesis or a theory, whatever you want to call it, that maybe a lot of collectors and specialty stores will see more of that kind of sprout up for collectability purchases. And granted, I'm coming about out this from an action figure point of view. I didn't really talk much about the plush animals or like the old Power Wheels or board games or anything like that, because you can find those things other places for a little bit cheaper, which that's a whole other argument. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, I'm really sad that Toys R Us is going away. So figured we had to stop in at least one more time, pay respects, and pour one out for our fallen friends. Well, this this has been an interesting week. Anyway, so guys, I'm sorry I got sick and I couldn't take you guys on an adventure, but there's always next week. So for right now, I'm gonna go drink some Theraflu and lay down, and we'll see what kind of adventure we can get ourselves into next week. So, before you go, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching my videos, subscribing to the videos, subscribing to the channel. Something I haven't done before, but I think I'm going to start doing from now on is asking if you wouldn't mind just giving this video a thumbs up. If you like the channel, if you like the video, this video is probably not going to be as good compared to others. Listen, I'm not anything if I'm not honest, right? But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It shows me that you guys are watching, and I just want to make cool videos and put them out on the internet for you guys. So, yeah, so if you could give it a like, I'd appreciate it. And if you could share the channel, I also appreciate that as well. But until next week, thank you, and we'll see you real soon.